Today is the start of a new series of beers directly from Germany, and we're kicking off with a German Coast IPA in this very fancily packaged bottle. But what's it going to be like? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Rucker's Beer Review. Today we're going to Germany, and we're going to be drinking this beer. This is the first, as I said in the introduction, the first of a number of German, I don't even know if you call them craft beer, but they're German beers that are on the sort of craft side. Yeah, my brother-in-law lives in southern Germany near Nuremberg, and First, I think it's called, where he lives, and he brought these beers. He said he bought these, so there's a big sort of shop there, like a sort of almost like a hypermarket of just beer, and they do a lot of these sort of different types of beers. And this one is, as I say, called German Coast IPA. So I'm not quite sure what that means. It says it's won 6 times world's best beer. So it's an award winner. Looking like the brewery is that, if you can read that. I will have an attempt. Schleschling. No, I'm not even going to have an attempt to that. I think that's the brewery. There's lots of writing on it. It actually says it's a double India Pale Ale. It's 7.5%. So let's try and find our way through this sort of paper packaging and see what it's all about. I mean, I've had a few German craft beers, but obviously Germany are known for the lager. You know, they're known for various types of, traditional, lager, pilsners, ales and stuff like that. So we don't really see much in the way of craft beer from them. So I'm interested to see what this is like, whether this is going to be a sort of a new wave sort of IPA, or is it going to be a more traditional type of IPA? I mean, certainly pour it into a glass. Colour-wise, it looks more like a traditional IPA. We've got a sort of copper-coloured beer, lots of carbonation moving up the glass, orange, sort of, orangey, copper, amber sort of colour. 3 fingers, pretty compacted head. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be quite different than normal New England IPAs that I drink. Let's see if we can get through that head and see what the aroma's like. Yeah, I mean, for me, it smells very much like a traditional ale, or even a lager, really. There's lots of malty sort of aromas. You're not picking up much in the way of fruit. I think it's going to be more sort of like a West Coast sort of IPA. But let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, everyone. Prost. Ooh. Yeah, lots of carbonation, a lot fizzier than you would expect. Very much like a sort of a German Pilsner, really. Not Pilsner, more like a different type of German ale. Again, it's very malty. You're getting quite a lot of sort of pine. You're getting a little bit sort of orange, marmalade, a little bit of slight grapefruit. But in terms of fruit, it's not what I would say the most fruitiest of beers, but it's quite pleasant, actually. Very different than what I normally drink. There's a little bit of bitterness, but I wouldn't say it's overly bitter. 7.5% is very well disguised. It's quite smooth. And there's a nice level of dryness. It's a really good beer, actually. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I could drink a few of these, but I mean, 7.5%, that's quite a strong beer. It says on the back, it's got like a little scale, and it says how fruity it is. It's 3 out of 5 stars. How spicy it is, 4 out of 5 stars. And how, I can't read that, put glasses on. How bitter, and it's got 4 stars. I'd say there's a nice level of bitterness with this, but it's smooth, it's got crispness, it's refreshing. To be honest, when you talk of like a West Coast sort of IPA, this is a pretty spot on flavour how I like it. It's not too dry, it's not too piney, just a nice level of dry and slight and bitterness. There's a lot more sort of orangey, sort of dry bitterness in there, really. Crisp, flavoursome, pretty damn good. I think we're on a good start here. So, German Coast IPA. I mean, German Coast, what's that? North, I suppose, is the German Coast IPA. Although I can't even think of Germany if the southern part goes on to the sort of Black Sea or something like that. So I don't know what that means, German Coast IPA. 7.5% is what they call a double IPA. It's a very much on the style of a West Coast beer, but it's very good, and it's a great start, and you can tell that this is a quality German beer. It's none of your rubbish sort of Becks and stuff like that. It is a good German beer. So that's the first of the beers. Let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for German Coast IPA. This is the first set of, set of German beers directly from southern Germany, from First near Nuremberg in the southern part of Germany. Yeah, and I quite enjoyed this one. It's very different than what I'm normally drinking. It's very much a West Coast IPA. I don't know, value for money, I'm not sure what I'm going to say for value for money for these. I'm going to have to give it a sort of mid-table score 7 because I don't know how much they cost. But let's go through the scores, starting with aroma. Appearance. Flavour. Value for money. And my overall experience. Try the scores up, we're getting a recommended beer. Now, I don't know if anyone's ever going to find this beer. Even in some of your imported shops in the UK, you'll probably struggle to find it. But maybe you've had it before. Maybe you've been to Germany recently and had something like that. I'm interested to some of these European breweries and make some really good different beers. And as I said, I've said in a previous video, I want to start drinking more different stuff because I know I drink a lot of New England IPA. I mean, don't drink every beer that I drink. I don't always review, and even the ones that I don't review, usually they're New England IPAs as well. But I want to start drinking more different types of beer, sort of open up the channel to a little bit more than just your sort of, your juicy haze bomb sort of thing. So these German beers, I think, are going to be a good example because a lot of them I'm not quite sure exactly what they are. So I think they're going to be quite different. So I'm looking forward to more of these, but this is a very good start. Recommended beer, total score off. Yeah, definitely give it a go if you see it. German Coast IPA. What does that really mean? What is the German Coast? Let me know in the comments. And until the next one, Happy New Year and keep on rocking.